A Cardiff student has been telling how he witnessed oil pollution affecting the lives of those living in the Amazon rainforest. 19-year-old Connor Weston goes to the University of South Wales and is an aspiring nature photographer and filmmaker. He headed to the Amazon and Andes last month, and earlier I asked him about his extraordinary trip.
What I've always wanted to do as a dream goal was go. Well, I had two places in mind, which is the Amazon and Antarctica, two places that are rapidly disappearing, and you know it is because you hear a lot about it and you see it on TV. What I wanted to go out there for was mainly photography and filmmaking. So I wanted to make a documentary about my experience in the Amazon. So what I was expecting is a vast rainforest, and I was expecting to see a little deforestation because I wanted to blot it out in my mind that it was disappearing. So I had the expectation of I'm going to probably see it. If I do, that's fine. But I'll continue with my filmmaking. So I went out there. That was the main event, was the Amazon. Went out there on the Napo River, which is how we got to our lodge, which was a 3-hour boat journey. We came across about 7 oil fields where different events were going on. You had either trucks going there, you had the mining going, you had them drilling, you had flames from the exhaust, and that was pretty shocking because I thought I was going to see more of people cutting trees down. It exists, but what I saw was the oil side and the mining side, especially going above and flying above it. But that kind of hit hard, and so when I saw that, my motivation from I want to do photography, I want to do filmmaking, changed to I want to show people this instead of working for myself, which is what I've become, because now I'm creating a film about that. But it was amazing when I got there. It was everything that I expected. You know, the noise, everywhere you looked, there was something new, interesting, different spiders, different like leaf cutarounds across the lodge. Everything that was great, but you couldn't help and you couldn't blot it out of your mind that just down the river was the mining. And that's when, because you're staying with locals, you're staying with natives, you're not gonna not hear about it, and you're not gonna be so I just want to focus on this. You know what you're gonna see.
What did the locals say to you about the impact of the oil on their life?
Okay, we had a few locals that I made friends with, and that's how I heard their stories. But you go to anyone and they're going to tell you a different bad story. And one of the stories was the oil companies, there's rules to how they do it, but they don't abide by the rules, and most of the spillage ends up staying in the rivers wherever they are in the Amazon. And one of the stories was kids that drink from the river aren't educated about the effects of oil, and that it's not that it's new to them, but they just haven't seen it before, and they wouldn't expect it themselves. And what they would do is when they go to drink, they cup up the water, but they notice the oil in the water. That's how close it is to them, so they swish the oil away and drink the water, and again that's what makes them ill. And following up from that story, the guide that I had was telling me a story about how his mother had cancer from drinking the oil that the kids were drinking from, had cancer from it, and she eventually died. And this was a year ago, and that was purely because of the oil, because they were saying that, we asked them the question, have they ever had any experiences, like any situations from cancer within the tribe before the oil? He said no, they've never had it, and it's becoming more frequent. And even if you have proof, it's still there. It's not gonna do anything.
And that must be a hard contrast, that kind of problem they have with the oil, compared to what the sort of stark beauty of the Amazon, which you must have seen just how beautiful it is. It must have been quite a sight.
Yeah. So trying to put it into context now. Imagine you've always wanted to do something, and imagine your whole career you want to base it around something. But imagine having the chance to do that, and then suddenly being not what you expected, or someone taking it away from you. So that's essentially what it is. I'm a nature photographer, but when I go out to these places which is abundant in nature, what's happening at the same time is people are taking it away. And the sad truth is it's not going to stop soon. you can try and stop it, but it's not going to stop. And it's quite sad to know that maybe the place that I went to is probably gone right now, and that's only a month ago. But it's all a work in progress to try and stop it, really.